Hello, loves. How are you all? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Tuesday with me, Lily Newhouse. Today in our training, we are going to talk about my 4 steps to hit your goals by the end of the year. So we are 3/4 of the way plus into 2022. And I know that when we start the year, we have a lot of aspirations, a lot of resolutions, a lot of goals, right? And sometimes we set really lofty goals and don't always know, is this possible in the course of 1 year? How will this happen, right? So it's actually easier sometimes to take shorter chunks and set goals in shorter chunks, right? Or to take that goal that we have for the full year and break it up. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at what's going to happen over the next couple months that's going to allow you to hit those goals. So thank you so much for joining. If you're on live, comment in the chat. Say hi to each other. If you're on the replay, comment on the replay. Let me know where you're joining from. Hi, Jill. It's so good to see you. So yeah, show me some love if you guys are on. Let me know where you're watching from, how you're doing today. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lily Newhouse. I am a business and manifestation mindset coach, retired poker player, cancer survivor, and self-proclaimed personal development junkie. So thank you so much for being here. So today I want to talk to you guys about my 4 R's for hitting your steps, hitting the 4 steps that are my 4 R's for hitting your goals in 2022. So the first step, when we're in this portion of the 4th quarter of the year, right? The first step is to review and reflect. Right? So we want to review, did we set goals at the beginning of the year? And I would love to know in the chat, did you set goals at the beginning of this year? Yes or no? And if you did, what were they? So I would love to know in the chat or in the comments, if you're watching on the replay, what were your goals for this year? And what were they? Did you set them? What were they? Right? So we want to get back in touch with what we said we were going to create this year at the beginning of the year, because this is where our vision is really important. Jamin says, no, I didn't set goals at the beginning of the year. Hi. Jill said, yes, I set a 350K goal. Pam says, hey, hello, Pam. So happy to see you. So, okay. So if you set goals at the beginning of the year, we want to start by reviewing and reflecting on those goals, right? So we want to take a look at what's working and what's not working and ask ourselves, is this goal still aligned and important to me, right? Because over the course of a year, sometimes the things that we project as being really important to us and being our primary goals and our primary focus, that can change over the course of 10 months that have passed since you set those goals in January, right? So we want to really ask ourselves this in question, did you set goals at the beginning of the year? What were they? And then what's working? What's not working? And is this goal still aligned and important to me? So that's how we want to start reviewing and reflecting, right? So then we have to ask ourselves, we have to go review and reflect, right? And then the second step is to revise. So given where you are now, is your goal still appropriate? Yes or no? I would love to know in the chat or in the comments, is your goal still appropriate for this year? Yes or no? And maybe you need to raise the bar, right? Maybe you've already reached that goal, and this is a good opportunity to take a look at where you're at and say, what do I want to create for the rest of the year? Maybe you're not on track to hit that goal, and it doesn't seem, to be even stretching realism, right? We can have stretch goals, but it doesn't seem to be quite in the realm of what's possible anymore. So perhaps we need to adjust the target to fit where we are now. So this is where we can revise our goals, either make the goals bigger or pull back on the goals a little bit to give ourselves some real motivation to where we can really hit that target, right? Because part of the reason to set goals is to be able to accomplish them, right? We want to set goals that we're capable of accomplishing. So if our goals are not appropriate for where we are in the year right now, then it's time to revise them to create something that we could really win at. Jill says, I surpassed our goal, so I want to raise it to 400K. Yes. Okay. So I love that goal revision. That's perfect. And so what my question to you, Jill, and a question to ask yourself too, is what's working, right? So let's look at what's working and continue to replicate that. And then let's ask ourselves what's not working and make those tweaks, right? It sounds like there's not a lot that's not working in what you're doing. So that's a really amazing thing. Pam says, I need to readjust my timeline. Awesome. So that's really great awareness. And that's what we're trying to create. We just want to create awareness so we can set new goals, right? Because it's very common in the beginning of the year to set goals, to set lofty goals, right? To set long-term goals. But what we actually find based on research that short-term goals are easier to accomplish. We are more successful with them because we can actually break down a plan and a strategy where we can see, okay, this is exactly what I need to do over the course of 10 weeks or whatever we have left in the year, about 10 weeks, right? This is what I can realistically do, and this will be a big win when I reach it, right? Jamin says, my goal for 2023 is to introduce my little brother to Jill Cooper. Oh my God, you're so funny. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I think Jill is pretty happily married. So we want to review and reflect our goals, right? Step one. We want to revise our goals. Step two. Third step is to recommit to our goals, right? So what do you need to do in the next few months to make this vision a reality? Okay. What do you need to do in the next few months to make this vision a reality? Hey, Mandy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you are here. Let me know, did you set goals at the beginning of the year? And if so, what were they? So what do you need to do in the next 10-ish weeks to make this vision a reality? What will it take from you to make this happen? So your new revised goal, right? The point is not to shame ourselves for where we're at or where we're not, right? The goal is to take where we are and do the work now to be able to achieve this new revised goal, right? Yes, Mandy says she set goals this year. Awesome, awesome. What were your goals this year and how are they panning out? I would love to know. So, you know, I would also be happy if you guys want to, after this, just comment on the post or let me know in the chat or on the video or let me know in the chat. If you want my notes from this training, I can send them to you. So they have some really good questions for you to go over. So who will you have to be to make this happen by the end of the year? And not from a place of gritting and our teeth and bearing it, right? But from a place of aligned action. Like, what will it really take from us to commit, you know, to recommit to this vision and to make it happen? What are you committed to for the rest of the year? And this is a shorter time frame, right? So it's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to set a resolution in January and I'm going to brick out by February, right? I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to, you know, be off the wagon by February. This is about, you know, a real short-term plan where you can really implement a habit that's possible to be repeated, to be integrated over the next few months, that you can really reach this goal and make this a real focus, right? And one of the things we find is that when we focus on one thing, we are more successful. So I would consider just setting one goal for the rest of the year and really focusing on that one thing. That's what we find is most successful, when we put all of our efforts and our expertise and our energy into one specific goal. So what will it take from you to hit this goal? Who will you need to be? And what are you committed to for the rest of the year? So these are all questions you can be asking yourself as you go through this process of reflecting and reviewing, revising, right? And recommitting. So these are really good journal prompts if you're serious about hitting your goals this year. And like I said, if you want to let me know in the comments, just put the word notes or me, and I'll send you, I'll grab your information and send you the notes for this so that you can go through these questions on your own as well and do some journaling on them and set your goals. So the fourth step after recommitting and really re-examining your commitment and what you're committing to and what's your priority, then the final step is reactivate, okay? And what I mean by this is taking action. Activate with action, right? So we want to reactivate, re-energize our goals. And so my question to you, and I would love for you to drop it in the chat or the comments, what action step can you take today to move towards your end game? Okay. Mandy says, I set a goal to start networking locally monthly and make as many connections in person while still showing up on social media. That is amazing. So my question to you, Mandy, is what action step can you take today or this week to move towards that end game? And do it now. I'm dead serious. Do it now. Do it as quickly as you think of it, right? Do it right after you jump off here. Take some kind of action. You know, Mel Robbins has a book called The 5-Second Rule, and she talks in her book about taking immediate action before we talk ourselves out of doing something, before, you know, those voices kick in that say, oh, I'll do it later, or, oh, I'm a little scared, so I'm not going to do it. Or, you know, whatever those stories are that come in between the thought and the action, if we can reduce that time between the impulse and the action, then we actually are able to circumvent those voices that are going to try and talk us out of it. So it's your turn to get serious about what you're creating by the end of this year, right? So I would love for you to drop in the chat a goal that you want to set between now and the end of December. What is it you're really committed to creating in the rest of 2022? Because we can blow the roof off this year in just 10 weeks, right? We really can. And this, using these 4 steps, is an incredible foolproof way to get on track to make that happen. So Mandy says, I got to speak at a local event last week and I'm scheduling more local networking meetings this week. Awesome. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Because the thing is that we can have intentions and we can have goals, but without action, we cannot create them. We cannot manifest them. We cannot make them a reality if we don't take action, right? There's the intention and there's the result. And in between, there's massive action, acting on faith, taking leaps of faith, doing things that we're uncomfortable with, expanding our power, expanding our comfort zone, and really doing these things that stretch us outside of where we are used to being so that we can expand our ability to create bigger and bigger results. So Pam says, I set my top 3 things that move me closer to my goals each day and make those the first things I complete. That's amazing. Awesome. Jill says, for me, it's all about the mindset and working on attracting what I want, keep selling and putting myself out there, even if I feel unseen. Yes, so important. So many people in a social media industry feel unseen, right? Or we minimize our results, right? We feel like we can compare ourselves. You know, the thing I've been thinking about is like the people that we compare ourselves to social media are the people who we're seeing the most of. And those are the people with the biggest accounts, the biggest followings. So they're the people who are at the top of the industries that we're in, right? And when we're comparing ourselves to only the people who are at the top of the industry, who have probably been doing this longer than us, then we have this magnified sense of not being where we want to be, not being seen enough, not being good enough, not doing enough, when there's a whole legion of people who are not doing as much as we're doing or not creating the results that we're creating. But we forget to look at that. We just look at the people who are doing better than us, right? So we have to be really careful about who we're comparing ourselves to. So I'm going to review these 4 steps with you. Review and reflect is the first one. So did you set goals at the beginning of the year? What were they? Get back in touch with what you said you wanted to create. Reflect on what's working and what's not working, right? And ask yourself, is this goal still aligned and important to me? Jill says, I just checked the numbers and my new goal for this year is 425K. Yes. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Perfect. Hell yes. So, you know, we review and reflect, then we revise, right? So given where you are now, is your goal still appropriate? Maybe you need to raise the bar, or maybe you need to adjust the target to fit where you are now, right? There's no shame in adjusting a goal. This is just a reflection of reality. It's not right or wrong. It doesn't make us good or bad, an arbitrary goal that we set and now we're adjusting it, right? And so then we revise, right? So this is the next step. You know, we revise without giving ourselves a sense of guilt or shame, right? We revise without making ourselves wrong for not being where I want to be, right? So, and then we recommit. What do you need to do in the next 10 weeks to make this vision a reality? So this recommitting is also about really figuring out, what do we need to do? What will it take from us? And who do we need to be to have it? So what are you committed to for the rest of this year? I would love for you to drop in the chat, what are you committed to? Tell it publicly, say it out loud, commit as with all of us as your witness. What are you committed to for the rest of this year? What are you committed to creating in your life? And who are you going to be? And then the final step is reactivate, which means take action, get active. What action step can you take today to move towards your end goal, right? So do it now. Committed to study, Jamin says. Awesome. Committed to studying. And that's huge, right? Because that is an action that will get you to your goal. And it's really clear what that action is. So you have a plan to get to your goal. And that's really important. And that's one reason that setting short-term goals can be more valuable than long-term goals, because it's hard to set a plan for a year and stick to it. But you set a plan for 2.5 months, it's much easier to stick to and start to get those wins, right? So now it's your turn to get serious if you haven't been. Let's blow the roof off the rest of 2022. I am so excited to see what you guys create. Let me know in the comments, comment the word notes in the chat or in the comment you would like my notes from this training, and I will send them over to you either via Facebook Messenger or whatever other way works best for you. So thank you so much for watching. Drop the word coaching in the comments if you're interested in learning more about my coaching offers and how you can work with me further. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to always have you here. I appreciate every single one of you. Mandy says, committed to finishing my courses that I've started and studying to sit for my EA exam. Yes, awesome, awesome. Mandy says, notes, please. Awesome. I will grab you those notes. I'm so excited. So thank you guys so much for being here. I love you all. I will see you soon. Next Tuesday, I will be speaking at a live event, so I will not be here, but the following Tuesday, we will be back. But keep an eye on my social media. You can see all the highlights from the event and the speeches I'm giving there. So, oh my gosh, love you too. Lily's coaching program is essential. Thank you so much, Pam. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys are amazing. I have the best clients and I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you all soon.